Oh, it says it is now. So, hello and welcome to another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon Don.
Janae.
And I'm Jay Trey.
I should change my name because this does have my government. Hello. So today we will be talking about the Aces and the Liberty, the Sun and the Lynx, and the outcomes of those series. Uh, our finals predictions with the Lynx and the Liberty. Uh, in Jay's words, the coaching carousel that has happened in the last 2 weeks, and whatever other miscellaneous topics come up, because y'all know how we get. Um, the first we can talk about the Aces, so I can get that out the way. Because I once I talk about them, I ain't trying to do it no more. I'm over it. Don't ask me about them. I don't care. My dad asked me about them. I was like, bro, I don't even want to talk about it. um, so as everyone knows, or the Aces were dispatched in four. Um, I said my hate comments to all of New York, and New York shut me up. And sometimes, it be like that. In all honesty, the Liberty were the best team in the league all year for the most part. Uh, we slandered them for 4 games. I think they were 2-2, and then they went on a crazy run the rest of the season. Uh, they obviously just got outplayed in basically every aspect. I mean, um, I think somebody tweeted about this. I'm pretty sure it was CC's interlude, but people talk about how the regular season doesn't really matter, and the things that happen in the regular season always come into fruition in the playoffs in some capacity. Yes, it is easy to believe in the Aces because they've won 2 championships already, and they have the best player in the league and however many Olympians and all that. But at the end of the day, old habits die hard, and they struggled in the regular season at various times. A lot of it was defensively. Um, the offense did not click in certain ways over the course of the season. They would go on a hot streak and they go cold, and then they'd win 9 out of 10 games, and then they go cold, and they would just go back and forth. Um, and it really showed in this run. They looked pretty good against Seattle for the most part, but Seattle also looked like a team that was just trying to find its way. Like they had just played together for their first year. Um, and then the first 2 games against the Liberty, they looked like eh. And then the game they won, they looked really that second half looked incredible. That looked like vintage Aces basketball. Um, Game 4 looked like a very good game until that fourth quarter, and the Liberty said, "All right, get y'all old asses out of here." Uh, and then, it'd be like that. I can't be mad at it. Sometimes you just get outplayed. Am I sick? Yes. Am I upset? No. Um, I know the Aces will do what they got to do to be able to retool. When you have Asia, it is very easy to retool. Players seem to, on top of the fact that she's the best player in the league, and like getting people to play with a really good player usually isn't very hard. Two, the people that play with her rave about her in ways that I seldom see from other superstars. Like players come to the Aces and talk about Asia like they Lord and Savior. It'd be kind of crazy. It'd be like, yeah, this is like not only the best player I've ever played with, but like this is the one of the kindest humans I ever met, and like all this other stuff. They just rave about her. It's very sweet, and I hope it doesn't stop anytime soon. But it's very sweet. So I have no clue what this roster is going to look like by next season. Um, I'm pretty sure Kelsey's an unrestricted free agent. I'm pretty sure Alicia's is an unrestricted free agent. I know Tiffany Hayes
Mhm.
is. I would really love to see Tiffany Hayes back. Um, but yeah, I know there are going to be some changes, and it's just a matter of what changes are made. But oh, wait, before we go, yeah, all praise to Liberty. I know I talked a lot about what the Aces did not do. The Liberty played absolutely fantastic. Sabrina took every criticism of her game and shoved that shit in a locker and has played some of her best basketball this year and the playoffs. Outside of that nasty ass game 3, she played fantastic in this series. Uh Stewie want her 1B chain back really bad. I get it. She outside, I think like game 2, she played pretty well this series. Um, her and John Quill did a fantastic job on making Asia uncomfortable. Uh, Asia still put up pretty good numbers or good numbers for the series, but I mean that's the unanimous MVP. Like they definitely made her uncomfortable. The fact that she did not take any shots in the fourth quarter until like the game was hilariously out of reach is crazy. But they all executed perfectly. But Nigel looked really good. Courtney Vandersloot has some vintage things. Like she like 2012 at times, uh, which I honestly think is kind of more our fault than hers. Good. Again, the defense, our defense was bad. um, yeah. Phoebich, dear Lord, Chicago. I will not forgive you. Who else let her go? Chicago and somebody else didn't sign her, and I can't remember who.
Um,
No, she was in a trade to Chicago. That was it.
yeah,
No,
she got traded
From
to New
Marina.
York from Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, from
it was
Marina.
somebody else that had the opportunity to draft her or like sign her
Oh,
and they didn't.
the Sparks drafted her.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Sparks in Chicago, this is your fault partially. Um, there will be some comeuppance in this, and I'm gonna figure out how to make it. Um, uh, Naira Sabally, she looked good. Uh, yeah, I don't. Yeah,
You
all
giving
praise.
them too much credit. I'm gonna stop you right there.
I have to.
You
I
are giving
have
them
to.
niggas too much credit. The Liberty looked bad, okay? They only looked good because the Aces looked that bad. I would feel like I was watching some of those games like, are y'all in middle school? Like, do y'all remember how to play basketball? Are we okay? Um, but it's like somebody, I can't remember who tweeted it, but they were like, the the aces have less room for like less margin of error, and like that was pretty evident, especially in game 4, I want to say.
Mhm.
Like I don't even feel like they were, yeah, Sabrina played better in game 4, but I was like, I don't even feel like the Liberty looked that great. But like on the flip side, the Aces just like could not get it together. So they just, they could just hold on. But I don't know. Like I haven't, like I feel like when I watched the Liberty play Atlanta, I was like, okay, like they look like a well-oiled machine. But then when I watched them play the Aces, I was like, okay, I see it. I see what we're going
Mhm.
for, but is it? I don't know. And so that's why, like, the overconfidence, I feel like people walked out of that, like, that series with, it's like, congratulations to the Liberty for winning, but it's like, Buki, if you lost to that, I don't know if y'all should even be here. Like, let's be real. Like, I don't know if y'all should have made the cut if y'all couldn't beat them. Just given how down bad the Aces look, like I thought that in game 1 they were gonna come out like swinging, and they came out like they was tired. I like, did y'all sleep on the plane? Like maybe we need to go back to not the charter flights because the girls are getting too comfortable. They're starting off too comfortable, and we like I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's just how I feel. I don't know. I just don't feel like I watched them play and was just like enamored or like amazed at what they were able to do. Like I am glad that they were able to hold on, because they've lost a lot of leads recently. Well, not recently, but just like that was kind of a reoccurring theme throughout the season is them losing leads. So I was kind of glad that they would be able to hold on, but they was fighting for their life a little bit. And I'm like, if the Aces were just like 2% better, this could have went differently.
2%
Maybe
is a lot.
5%. Maybe 5%.
5% is a
So
lot.
yeah. So I guess the angle that I'm taking is no, the Liberty were not firing on all cylinders by any means for a couple of reasons. I think the main reason is the top end talent that the Aces have is still forced to be reckoned with. Like they obviously underperformed relative to their standards, but they're a top team for a reason. Most people, including me, had this series going to 5 games for a reason. The Aces, they have that level of talent, and the Liberty didn't. They didn't. They didn't look like a well-oiled machine in that sense. But to me, I feel like that's almost better for them in a sense because you need to find a way to win and everything is not clicking. And I feel like that's what they were able to do. It's when Becky Hammond after the series, she was insinuating that this Liberty team was built to beat us, which they were, and they got the job done. It ain't look pretty the whole time, but they did what they were quote unquote made to do. And I came away from that last game really impressed with Stewie specifically. I don't know if her box score numbers were crazy. I don't remember what they were, but she was everywhere in that game. Like defensively, and we'll get into this when we talk about the finals matchup too. But defensively, they were asking her to switch onto everybody. Like she guarded Asia a couple possessions. Sometimes they had her on Kia or they had her on Alicia Clark where she could roam. If she got switched on to Chelsea, she was like, okay, I can handle this too. So those things that's what they're going to need from her in order to, come away with a championship. And as far as Vegas goes, I do think that there's going to be a shakeup for them in terms of the way that their roster is constructed. I don't think the I think the core stays what it is because Chelsea, Jackie, and Asia are all under contract. Kelsey is a free agent, but the Aces do have the core designation available, and that's probably a no-brainer to say, well, we'll just keep Kelsey Plum. Um, like Don said, I would like to see them bring Tiffany Hayes back if at all possible. I think other than that, I think that's where the big change probably comes because I feel like, especially they need some sort of combo big. I feel like that needs to be like the main addition for them going into the offseason. I mean, you could argue that they just missed Candace Parker because she provides that 4 or 5 versatility playing next to Asia that they really missed. Um, when they were going to Kia for certain things and they were going to AC and it just never really clicked for them. It's not their fault or anything. Not in particular. It's just something was missing for them, and I feel like that could have been a piece that they considered like, well, if we just had this, that would have been different. But that's my main takeaway from that.
I think I think like I agree that it probably will change and like they probably will need a big, but I feel like my biggest issue and it's like I've said this all season, is like Becky doesn't use her bench. Like I just feel like there's no way you watch how Meg Gustafson plays in Spain and just how she's able to kind of like stretch the floor, get it in, got an inside jumper, like she's able to do all of these things and then you pretty much lay her to shooting threes on a whim You know what I'm saying? You like get in the game, take a couple shots, and hope for the best. It's like, who do y'all think she is? I like, you know, like they get away with it with Sid because she's a good defender. And I mean, she's also a vet. Like, she's been in the league long enough to know, like, this is what I have to work on. This is what I need to do. But I just feel like Meg in particular, they just didn't really give her opportunity to like expand her skill set. And even like the things like I just don't even think they could have tried things. And I get that she's not a great defender, but it's no way, especially with the record that the Aces had this season, like y'all ended up a 4 seed. It's no way that y'all couldn't have y'all basically y'all was already losing. So it's no way that you couldn't find usable minutes to get her more acclimated, you know, play with the rotations, like do a little bit more. And that's obviously always my critique of Becky is she just doesn't like she's like, here's my core four, and whoever I'm feeling today, we're gonna put them out there and like hope for the best. And it's like, you don't have to do that. You genuinely don't have to do that. Like, and especially in a year where you were plagued with injuries, like Chelsea had an injury, Jackie ended up having an injury, um, Asia almost got injured. Like everybody was, you had people coming in and out, so it's just like you had a better opportunity to put people on the floor, and you just didn't. Like you thought that your core was going to rise to the occasion when like history tells you you need someone from your bench to step up, and you don't really have you don't have the veteran depth on your bench that you've needed, right? Like you don't have the Raquana Williams, you don't have, you know, last year you had the Alicia Clark, but this year she got to be a starter, so you don't have that like, let me throw this wrench in there. And so it's just like I think she could have did a way better job of like incorporating them and just like giving them a chance to kind of fit into the offense, because now when you actually need them to play, they look like deer in headlights because they're like, well, fuck, like I make one wrong move, I know I'm gonna sit down, but they kind of need me out here because nobody else is available. So I don't know. I think they will make changes, but it's just like, what's the point of making changes if you're not gonna play the motherfuckers? Like it seems pointless.
Yeah, like I remember um the Sid stint in game four, which she was fine. It was it just seemed to it was obvious to me, it was like only reason Sid is in this game is because Jackie needed to come out. Like it felt like it feels like they kind of, in case of emergency, break glass for their bench. And it's like you need like other than Tip, it felt like she wasn't comfortable with cycling in bench players. So I don't know if throughout the season that that trust wasn't built or what. But it was kind of interesting to see because it you could tell that if I can play six players for 40 minutes, I'm gonna do it. That's what it felt like.
I think my girl just I don't know. I think she knows what she won with before, and she like, and I think even before she got there, what the Aces were kind of doing beforehand, like I think it's just like, okay, in 2022, it was really just Asian them and Raquana, and then in 2023, it was Asian them, and then Kayla George had to play superhero for this one game, and then they stunk. And she was like, okay, well, I still got Asian them at the very least. So it does suck. I think that I think every coach does have their flaw, and I just think that's Becky's flaw. It's just the fact she does not trust her bench, and she just I don't know. Maybe she don't have a good relationship with them. maybe she just feel like man, no point in playing them because while I could be playing them, I could be playing my starters. I don't know. Um, there were definitely times where like I think we had texted about this, but it was a point where I think Sid came in and then they went on like a 6-0 run, and then the Liberty came back and had like a 6-0 run or whatever. Like it was just really back and forth. But I guess from Becky's perspective, she like, oh, this happened because my starters aren't in, or this happened because my main guard isn't in. And it's just like, I don't know. Basketball is such a game of momentum. And I can imagine it's harder to feel comfortable to want to. I can imagine it's harder to do certain things or really be free on the court and like not make mistakes when you know, hey, if I fuck up, like it's over. Like I'm not touching this court again. Um, so that, I mean, that's just the thing. Like, ain't none of them perfect. Uh, all of them fucked up to some degree in that game. Like every single person that touched that court for the Aces side fucked up to some degree at some point in the game. Um, so whether Sid played perfectly or not, whether Tiffany Mitchell played perfectly or not, whether uh Meg played perfectly or not, like it just didn't matter. Um, I don't know. Hopefully that's one of the things that Becky works on in her off season. I would rather like even if next year we have a very healthy run and like nothing really like we don't have any major injuries, we don't have to worry about Chelsea rehabbing from anything, whatever. I would rather lose like 5 more games and have the bench feel comfortable at what they're doing than us to win 32 and like it's just Asian them again and like something like Lord forbid something happened and we back where we at. I know it worked in 1 year. That does not mean in just because things work out does not mean it was good. So yeah, I would rather win like 28 games, Kate Martin get good minutes, uh Sid get good minutes, like Liz, whoever else we bring in, Bag. Like I'd rather them get good minutes and really figure themselves out on the court and build confidence so that when their number is called, when it matters, they know what to do. And
I was about to mention that. I was like, what if Liz Kitley is just the fix? Like
That's not the
what if
agenda.
that's
I don't know who started it.
you're not allowed to talk about her.
I don't know who started it, but if I see another tweet that says, "Don't worry, she'll be with us next season," and it's a picture of Liz Kitley, I'm gonna cut my hair off.
It's
Because what are
it,
you
Jermaine.
talking about? What are you
It's
talking about?
it's cope. I don't. You're not understanding. It's cope. All these teams do it. It's just our version of cope. That's
Bro,
what
but you had to cope with Liz Kitley?
it don't. Cope is not supposed to be make sense. It never makes sense.
I
All
think
the
it could make a
all
little sense.
listen, it's very rare Cope makes sense. I just seen somebody say that the Celtics beat the Mavs because they played a box and one on Kyrie. It's Cope. It don't matter whether it makes sense or not, it don't matter. I do think Liz Kitley will help. Now, how much she's gonna help, I don't know. I also feel like, and I judged the Liberty for this last year, but and it ended up working out in their favor. I think most of the Aces uh like improvements from this season are going to be internal. Like it's just going to be having a healthy year from everybody. Like if Jackie's healthy all year, or at least majority, if Chelsea's healthy most of the year, Asia stays Asia. Um, like I think that's going to help a lot more than having to bring somebody in. It's really just being healthy majority of the year, Becky trusting her bench. We could bring in Enrique Satu, uh, uh, Alyssa Thomas, Duana
Don't
Bonner. It
start
don't
on the
matter.
wish list. You not
It
slick.
it don't no. I'm saying we could bring in the whole All Star team. If we don't, if Becky don't use them, it don't matter. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the main thing. Um, but yeah, Aces, I guess that I seen them. Some of them was already in Cancun, so I think they good. Uh, I like. I'm pretty sure Alicia Clark and was already in Cancun at like today.
Yeah, her and Kirsten Bell, I think.
That had me crying because why was that lady sleep like that? Poor baby.
Nah, they
Y'all
said
really want her out.
somebody said
Alicia Clark done won 3 chips. She hooped and she did what she had to do, and she in a latter half of her career. I think she like I already done. I lost. It's whatever
I
at
did
this point.
enough.
That's what
yeah.
I think is funny. I tweeted this like the day it happened, but I think the Aces and the Liberty hate each other a lot less than their respective fan bases do. And I think this typically goes with most sports.
Yeah, because
It's very
I
rare like
no, I
teams really hate
honestly
each other.
I think they're frenemies. It's like
yeah,
I
it's
hate
like
this bitch, but like also I kind of like her, but I also hate her.
yeah,
They give
it's
very much frenemies.
yeah, it's what we talk about a lot when it comes to athletes and competitiveness. That's what it is. Like these two teams faced off in the finals last year. Like obviously they respect each other's games. Obviously they might like each other as people, but it's like when we on this court though, I'm trying to get mine and I'm trying to stop you from getting yours, and that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I just think it's especially like Stewie and Asia, like them niggas really love each other.
I think they actually
They've
might like each other. Everybody else, I don't buy
they've
it.
been
I don't
doing
buy it.
battle for a long time, and like Stewie and Asia fans be like, and it's like they be at the Olympics bloodied up after every game. They be like, "Damn, girl, it's good to see you. Like you whooped my ass today, but I whooped your ass last time." Like it just be like it'd be cool. So I don't know. Um, I'm just I think the biggest thing that I've seen out of this playoffs outside of like basketball is that uh that Candace Parker clip where she was like, I wish people could like criticize the game and talk more shit. I would like to see that out of the WNBA eventually. I mean, it may get there. I think it'll get there. It just might take some time. Uh I didn't like how like I thought last year when the Aces talk shit and Liberty fans were like, why are y'all gloating after a win was kind of corny. And now that the Liberty won, I think Aces fans being like, well, we beat y'all last year is corny. Cause like, nigga, it's 2024. Sorry. It's a year later. It is what it is now. I didn't whoop your ass. Like, if they want to talk shit, that's how the game goes. That's what
I
you're
thought
supposed
you
to do.
said Coke
Very
never makes sense.
But that's the thing. But no, this is people who are winning that are coping. Like, how you winning and you coping?
Okay, but they were kind of like the Liberty fans was kind of whining
No,
too. Like
absolutely.
they were
Absolutely.
like, "This is because, like, why was she talking about her in their like parade speech?" That lady said she was 3 for 17. She was 3 for 17. This benefited me. I'm gonna bring that up. Like, no,
If I win, I'm
would be
supposed to be able to say things about like if as long as I ain't calling you out your name, I think me saying stuff about the way you performed is perfectly acceptable.
and
If
the
the
reason
Liberty
think about it. The reason I'm bringing that up is because that is proof that my game plan worked because I got in your head and you was
if
off your game. So
if the
yes, I'm bringing
Liberty
it up because that means something to me.
if the Liberty win the championship and they wear shirts like that I'm a unanimous MVP. Alicia Clark, here's the ball, or whatever that little meme with Asia passing. Like, that's gonna be funny to me.
okay, no,
It's
I ain't gonna
unfortunate.
lie. I ain't gonna
Plum,
lie.
I
Them
believe in you.
putting the Tims on the fucking floor. That shit was funny. I said, okay, y'all ate that. Y'all ate that. Y'all ate that.
This is real rivalry. It's supposed to be 1-1. This is what a real rivalry is set up for. This is this is real hoops right here. So I hope the shit talking continues. Do I want the Liberty to win? Absolutely not. But I hope the shit talking continues because it's good for the game. Like
Yes,
actually good
absolutely.
for the game, not like fake good for the game. Like legitimately good. But next up, Connecticut and the Lynx.
Yeah,
Uh,
we gotta how about them links in the chat. So
Actually, I can't even boot them. I can't even boot
I
them.
listen. This is the 2014 Spurs WNBA edition. I don't really like making MNBA comparisons, but that is a team that plays beautiful basketball. I don't know what they got going on. I say this all the time. I don't know what they gave them in the offseason, but when we do this interview with somebody, I need to ask, like, what the hell did y'all, what team bonding did y'all do? I need to figure it out because they play basketball how it's supposed to be played. Like this is like if somebody was like,
He
yeah,
said,
this like the quote
he said they
unquote how
ethical. He said they got
it,
ethical buckets.
it this is ethical. Like it's really like that's the type of basketball if you play it in like the YMCA league, your coach is gonna be like, wow, this is like this is the type of film your coach gonna show you in middle school. Like that's how they play. And it's spearheaded by Nafisa. And I think she wanted to be a part of that A1A, 1B, 1C category. So we're gonna see how this finals go. Um
So you know that she's currently the second highest playoff scoring average ever.
I'm assuming Maya Morris first.
She is not actually. It's Cappy Pondexter, 2010. She was averaging 28.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wait,
Fee want that best player in the league chain. Um she go
No,
if
she wants to be Finals MVP. She said that's her. I don't want to call it a consolation prize, but
if she get
that's
finals
her real award.
if she get finals MVP and then she get MVP next year, she might get best player in the league
Don't
chain.
start that agenda because you know how they do. You
And
somebody here at one time and now they like Pete, Pete MVP favorite. She ain't that shit.
I'm talking about next year. I got to see how she get right
it,
because the leap from last year to this year is insane. I, so I got to see. But again, the Lynx as a team play very beautiful basketball. I honestly no notes like
I
outs.
got notes. You
Uh,
ain't never got notes, but I got notes. Okay. I got notes. Um, I'm not gonna drag him today though. I'm gonna say, Courtney Williams, I can't believe you did this to me. I was rooting for you. I was really rooting for you. And you put 25 on them people head. Did she have a double double? Did she have like 25 and
I
10?
was you're right, sir. You're right, sir.
I'm like, Mookie, why did you do that to me? Those are your former teammates. Like,
that's why you're supposed to do that.
I was crying though because when her and Marina was like going back and forth, and they was like asking her in the presser like if like what that was about, and she was like, oh yeah, like she was like, oh yeah, I love Marina, but like when we on the floor, I'm gonna say what I gotta say, but afterwards we can hang out. I was like, y'all are hilarious, but like no. I can't believe she did that to me though. But I obviously am a big Courtney Williams fan. I love her game so much. I think she's done. She's like fit into the Lynx um so well. And obviously, like I think it kind of started in Chicago, which two thumbs down to them, but we're not talking about them. It started in Chicago because she really started to get into that like PG form. Well, like at least committing to it. And but the fact that now she's with the Lynx and she can actually commit to it. Um, and her and Fee with the little pick and roll, I was like, who do y'all think y'all are? And because I feel like that wasn't really something they did all season. Like I feel like that was kind of new. Maybe I haven't been paying attention a lot, but I feel like that kind of felt new. I was like, okay, like we y'all become a little duo. That's cute though. That's cute. And obviously Alana Smith, like, love her down. Another former Chicago player. Again, two thumbs down to that franchise. Um, but yeah, she had 24, 5, 7, 2.
Seven, yeah.
Has Chicago turned into a farm system for the rest of the league?
For their sake, I hope not. They need to get it together because yeah.
I
But
think
I mean,
that's
they got a championship in what 22 or was it
21.
yeah, and
21?
from
Yeah,
2022 on, that shit has been like we're gonna take a player from here, and that player is gonna help us do great things. Like once Candace Parker left, actually, so 2023 on, once Candace Parker left, it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna pick off of that. We're gonna pick off of that plate and add this to my plate. I'm gonna take this out of your cart and put this in my cart because you don't need it, obviously.
So a really quick Lynx note, because I'm gonna be talking about them a lot. Um, the way that they move the ball, like watching that offense, you wouldn't expect in the offseason they added, Atlanta Smith, Courtney Williams were their two really big offseason acquisitions. I didn't expect this big of a playmaking jump to come from adding those two. Because when I think of Courtney Williams, of course, I think, she's gonna get to the mid range, she's gonna get her shots. She's a good passer, but I never thought of the playmaking and the ability of this team to swing the ball was going to be as high of a level as it's been. And Atlanta Smith, I always thought of as, she's a good defender, she can stretch the floor, but she's done some non-traditional playmaking stuff too. Like you can see, like they're all committed to making the extra pass without overpassing. And I feel like that's the difference. Like when we talked about um Vegas, especially down the stretch in that last game, there was a lot of overpassing because it was like, I don't want to make a mistake here. So I'm gonna get this ball up. And that's I feel like the way that the Lynx play, there's so much intention with the way that they move the ball. It's like they're trying to read the defense moves, and you're playing against a defense like Connecticut, which is one of the best defenses in the league, has been all season. They might have finished the season as the number one defense. I'm not sure,
They
but
were. Yeah, the Sun
and
were.
it came down to that, and on top of that, you got Fee making tough shots. Like there were several plays where AT is guarding Fee up, and she's just like, "Well, I'm gonna just hit this little turnaround fade, and there's nothing you can do about it." And it's like, I know as a defender, you say, "Well, I got to tip my hat to that," but how many times am I gonna do that? Like I'm just like like I can imagine it being frustrated because it's like, so she just gonna score on me and there's nothing I can do. So I can imagine that being frustrating. But that's the one thing that sticks out about Minnesota. And honestly, the only team in the league that moves the ball on that level is New York. So I think it's gonna be an interesting series for that reason. Because while I felt like Minnesota and Connecticut mirrored each other in a lot of ways, especially on offense. I mean, on defense, I feel like it's the other way around in this series. I feel like offensively, they kind of look to attack in a similar way.
They better be passing and going band for band.
I kind of wanted to slander K Mac, but I can't even slander her because she was 2 for 7 though, so I did feel better about that. But I can't even slander her because she did what she was supposed to do. But I think
Mhm.
that's the interesting thing about the Lynx is that besides Fee, like I feel like Fee is consistently the person who has like a great night or at least a pretty good night. But it's usually always it's somebody else that just does something that kind of pushes them over the edge, and then everybody else just like, okay, we'll just like do enough, we'll do enough to keep us in the game. So I think that's interesting because you just really never know who it's gonna be. But to Connecticut, I cannot believe y'all did this to me. I could not, but I was rooting for you. Nobody believed in you. I believed in you. And y'all took it to game 5 and did that.
Yeah, I think what what was Connecticut's Connecticut's downfall was the fact that when it gets tight and you in the half court, it was tough for them to generate offense out of their half court sets. Like you basically need you basically needed DeWanna Bonner to get going. Which I mean, she was okay in the last game. She had 14 points, but they need a lot from her and from Marina to kind of have the offense going to where they don't have to just beat teams down the floor in transition.
I think the issue is when your best player has no shoulders and the going gets tough. It's hard. Alyssa Thomas is amazing at basketball, absolutely amazing. But I also can imagine as an opposing team looking at looking at the other side of the court and being like, they need a bucket. I don't have to worry about this person as much. And this is the best, like, this is who generates everything, is like, it it makes things somewhat easier, which is why Dewana and Marina and like even like Dejanay or Bree, like they have to do more. And because the times where Alyssa Thomas goes crazy, it's like, damn, we got that in plus some. Like when she went crazy against the Fever and she had like 20 something and she was hitting them uh flip shots from the free throw line, like that made things so much easier for them. But that's also not a consistent thing for her. And it's like where are you about to pass this ball? I feel like that's more of the question in a half court when you're guarding the Sun in a half court set and Alyssa Thomas has the ball. I feel like it's instead of what are you about to do with this, is where are you about to pass this? But you
Mm-hmm.
have all these other players who might not pass nearly as well, but they because they have a plethora of scoring options, it's like, what are you about to do with this ball? Like, how are you about to score? And I think how are you about to score is more of a it makes it put keeps the defense on their heels a lot more than where are you about to pass. So I don't know. I don't think it's not her fault by any means. It's just I feel like a team spearheaded by Alyssa Thomas needs more firepower, I guess. But also, I can imagine that if they had more time to gel, like for a whole season, I think it would have worked out, or at least would have looked a little bit better by the end. Because I don't know, but
I am going
my
to disagree with you. And for this comment, Alyssa Thomas does not have labrum, so she can't lift her arms up. So that's why people say she has no shoulders. Um, I think the problem because in games 1, 2, and 4, AT was going crazy. And I think I agree that it helps. And a lot of the times that like teams sag off her, like when she's actually committed to it, it hurts. But I think the problem is what I feel like, and what I feel like what happened in game 5 is that if AT walks into the game and she don't feel like she's ready defensively, they're cooked. Like I feel like when I don't think I watched the first quarter, but I think I started watching the second quarter. And AT was just kind of like she wasn't doing her normal roaming. She wasn't like they were trying to play man. It didn't really seem like they were trying to switch. Like, I don't know what they were trying to make the game plan, but she just seemed like she was just kind of chilling. Like, she was like, okay, like, all right, Dejanay coming over here. Like, let me, I might step up, I might not. Like, I just don't feel like she brought it defensively, and that really, like, it really hurt them because obviously, like you said, she is like the person who helps push them in transition. But it's like if she's not ready to attack defensively, she can't even do that. And so I think it's like I think you can have her at the helm, and I do think that like um I do agree that they need to put like more shooters in or just have a like more offensive sets. But I think, like you said, they relied on DeWanna Bonner. Um, in a way that I just was like, why are we doing this? You know, like why are we doing this? Like DeWanda didn't have it. I think down the stretch she was a little bit better, but like from the beginning she didn't have it. You had Bree Jones. Bree Jones is the biggest person on the floor. She had one foul and you set her down. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And this is the one time that Bree Jones actually is like she's actually going off. Like she's actually
Yeah,
cooking
she
them.
did.
She's doing what she need to do, and you sitting her down. And y'all are not being intense on defense. Like I feel like Veronica Burton could have got like some earlier minutes. Oh no, needed some minutes. It's no reason why you don't play. Oh no, in this game. And I feel like Steph White does. I ain't gonna say she's similar to Becky because she will play her bench a little bit more, but like she's similar in the sense that like she's like whoever got me here, as in like whoever my core is, I'm gonna just let them work and let them figure it out. When it's like, no, sister, they look bad. Maybe you need to sit Alyssa Thomas down and let her recognize like what the fuck she doing wrong so that she can come into the game, with a renewed spirit. Like you just got her, she just up in on the floor, just running up and down, just like, all right, have fun. It's like, girl, like you need to do something. Like you need to do something. And you making me bad. You making me bad. And she be getting out there with an attitude, which I don't care if players have attitude, but you can't be out there with an attitude and you not even trying to take shots. Like you're not even doing anything. You're not doing that on defense and you're not doing that on offense either. You cannot just be a body out there because the Lynx are going to take advantage of that. Like they're not the Fever. Like you slow the Fever down and they cooked. The Lynx are not them. Most of them are older. They have some playoff experience. So they're like, well, this is the perfect opportunity to take advantage. And to be honest, like the Lynx taking advantage of that at the beginning of the game is honestly what really saved them because had they not, the Sun could have like the Lynx weren't playing that great at the end of the game.
Hmm.
The Sun really could have overcame had they like locked in for real, but because they weren't doing enough to like get over whatever feelings they were having, they just looked bad. But like the Lynx, I don't know. The Lynx to me did not do enough in that game five for the Sun to play like that. Like it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
I
like you mentioned that first quarter because coming out of the first quarter, the Sun were down by 13. And you could tell from that point on they were kind of already not checked out because Dejanay especially, she went for it. Like she entered the game with 17 and 12, which, I didn't expect 12 boards from her because usually AT is the one crashing and she didn't really and that's the other thing. She can't push the pace in transition if she's not crashing the glass. And she didn't really do that. She didn't really do that yesterday. She only had 3 rebounds, which is very uncharacteristic of her.
it's very
And
nasty.
it has and like so and the thing is, and something I'll get to more later when we talk about the Lynx in the finals, they do not rebound. Fee rebounds. The Lynx do not rebound. Like
Atlanta Smith rebounds. Atlanta Smith and Fee are
Atlanta,
the only
Atlanta
two
does,
people who rebound.
Atlanta does rebound. As a team, they are as a team. That's where you can attack them, and that was why you saw 16 and 10 from Bree Jones, and she only played 23 minutes. At played the entire game, and there was just she didn't have it for whatever reason. So, like you say, maybe you say, okay, well, you would think, oh, it's counterintuitive to take AT out, but if if you see Bree Jones got it going, Dejanay got it going, you can let Ty Harris bring the ball up. You can try a Ty Marina, uh, Veronica Burton, DB, Bree Jones. You can try that lineup and just see if that lineup gives you some more juice on offense. You have a post player, and then you got players around her that can space the floor. but it seemed like it's like, well, AT running the show is what got us here. And she's saying that she's gonna play the whole game, so we just gonna leave her out there. But they kind of Minnesota kind of jumped on that. And they did that from the jump. At the half, they were up 19. At that point, you could tell that the Sun was kind of like, okay, well, it's over.
And it really wasn't. Like they came into the third quarter and they went on like a 9-0 run and then they went on like a 7-0 run. And I'm like, all y'all needed to do was to carry that forward. Like this is all y'all had to do because again, the Lynx were not playing that good. I was like, okay, like I'm not so like down and out on the Sun right now because like this is not a deficit that you've never seen. Like we've watched you overcome this time and time again. And they started to, and then it just like you said, it just kind of looked like AT especially looked like she clocked out. And the thing that like kind of bothers me is why I don't want to say like Stephanie White isn't like Becky because I've seen her play with some of these rotations. Like I've seen her have DB, Dejanay, AT, Ty, I mean not AT, DB, Dejanay, Ty, Marina, and Veronica Burton all on the floor at once. And it somehow worked. I mean, and I think in a situation like this, like before Marina obviously went down, like that could have worked because guess what? Now y'all both running and gunning. Everybody can run the floor. Everybody can keep up. Everybody can do whatever. Like Ty can shoot the ball. Veronica, she's not known to be shooting the ball, but she started letting it fly. I said, "Thank you, I appreciate you," because she was standing there like, "Sister, shoot the ball. You are wide open." Um, just like you tried these lineups before. Like she's had a lineup of oh no, DB, Dejanay, BB, and Ty Harris. Like we saw that. It worked. It worked. It was kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting it to work, but it did. And it's like I know they probably didn't get like a lot of minutes together, but try it. Y'all already down. And your star player is acting got a nasty attitude right now. She needs to sit down. Like, sorry, she gotta sit down. And as a coach, like that's it's your responsibility to be like, okay, what do we need? And not like, let me just put my core out there. They got it. Because they don't always have it. Sometimes you need to sit down and be like, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Let me go back in there and get right. Like, and I feel like if AT had just had that moment to be like, I'm tripping, they probably could have won the game.
I would just like to to go along with what you were saying about the run they went on. So, uh, the Sun ended the second quarter or went into halftime being down 34 to 53. The By the 7:37 mark, it was 41 to 53. So they did go on a 7-0 run. Then the Sun did not score again until 2 minutes left in the third. It was 41-53, and then it was 41 to 65 before the Lynx, I mean before the Sun scored again. It was very nasty.
Second half, bro. Yeah.
That them girls it's like they didn't give up, but at the same time it was like damn. It's like I don't know. It's like they laid down for because it's just like ain't nothing we can do about it at this
Yeah,
point.
when your offense is on that much of a dry spell, you got to just press another button. Like I don't know what all the buttons do, but now is the time to find out because we got to press a button because this one we got our finger on ain't working. So I don't know,
To
but I've
dramatic
I've seen I've seen some people down on Bree Jones, not her performance specifically, but people down on that type of player, and I'm not there. I'm
Fight the
not
trench.
there. I
Look, fight for the trench babies, J Trent. Tell them
always,
why.
always,
what type of
always.
player is she that don't work?
Because she's a pure post scoring rim running inside center. So
if this is the NBA, maybe this is not that type of game.
The
even
NBA
then
need to
though,
bring them back. That's why their product
I was gonna
bad.
say,
Yes, yes,
even
yes.
then, there's gonna be some moments where sometimes you need a pure inside post scoring big. Now, the question, and this is why I think that's gonna be where their change comes from. I don't think Bree Jones is gonna be with Connecticut next year. Um,
Don't
I
put that in the
think,
air.
He's
I
saying that
think
because he want her to be in Atlanta.
I do, but that's not what I'm saying.
Agenda.
I do, but it's not what I'm saying. That. But but
Niggas not slick.
I wonder if people are down on the combination of Bree Jones and AT as an offensive front court because that kind of limits the space for your offense.
I could see.
So I get it. I get it. But I'm not down. I would never be down on a pure inside center because even if that's not the focal point of your team, there's gonna be some possessions where you like, okay, well, we just need a bucket. Go down there, you put this shot up. Like, give me something to go to. Because even speaking of the dream, they did that last year with Tina Charles. They were saying, "We'll if we don't have anything to go to, we'll feed Tina in the post, and she'll put a shot up. She might get fouled, she might not make it, but we'll press that button if we need to."
I have an agenda of my own. So, Jermaine, relax. Hear me out. Hear me out. So we're talking about Bree Jones potentially leaving. And we're also talking about spacing from the center position. What's how we feel about Natasha Howard in Connecticut?
High key.
Hey,
That if DB, I feel like this is DB's last season. She's gonna hit us with a Candace Parker pose. Um, she is like the perfect thing for them. Like no bullshit. She would be like the perfect piece.
a starting lineup of Ty Harris, Dejanay, Dewana Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Howard, with Marina coming off the bench and Veronica Burton, is kind of crazy. And then
No,
you have
DB needs to leave. You need to keep Bree Jones up.
Bree
They
Jones
can
is going.
afford them.
Bree Jones is going to Atlanta.
I'm not here for these agendas.
I hope Bree
Y'all are
Jones
not
likes
y'all are
Magic
not blowing
City.
up the Connecticut Sun. I don't want to hear
We're
it.
not. They keeping them the same
Nah, I mean,
people.
yeah, I don't think. And see, so I have kind of after watching what I saw in this series against Minnesota, I no longer think they need to blow it up. But
Thank you. My agenda's working. My agenda is working.
I do think there needs to be some retooling there in terms of their identity as a team. But I no longer feel like, they should just let everybody go. I would say that.
I said they need to blow it up because that's just my agenda. But they absolutely don't have to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
think realistically, I think people underrate consistent success without a championship. It's very hard to win every year. There are a lot of good teams in the WNBA. It's a lot of really good players, and being a consistently good team is very hard. The Wings were really good last year, and they were not good this year. Chicago was on top of the world 3 years ago. Like the Liberty were bad 2 years ago. Like the Lynx had some down years. It's Connecticut has been a consistent force for quite some time. And although it has not resulted in a championship, they have done what they've technically needed to do. And I think they've had the pieces that they've needed to succeed. Just because things don't work out does not mean it was bad, in the same way that just because things do work out, it was good. So I think ultimately they will be fine. Um, like Jay said, I just think they need to retool. They do not have to blow it up. Would it be funny if they blew it up? Yes. Do they have to blow it up? No. If they do blow it up, Alyssa Thomas, I hope you like Dallas. Get your cowboy hat ready, girl. The family's moving to Texas. But other than that, But I think if DeWanna Bonner retires, I think Alyssa Thomas leaves.
I don't think so.
I don't know. See, and that was the other thing that I was gonna say is Jamae said that she feels like Dewana is just gonna retire, and I feel like if that's the case, actually, even if that's not the case, the Sun need to be looking for shot creation from somewhere. Like I love the fit of a player like Natasha Howard in that front court, but they need to be looking for somebody who can create their own offense, whether it's on the perimeter, in the mid range, somewhere that draws the defense to you. I think they need to be looking for that.
You know
Alyssa
what I saw
Smith,
the
are
street
you
say?
ready to get your career changed?
What?
Alyssa Smith,
Nalissa Smith. Nalissa's not going anywhere.
Y'all know what I saw the street say?
what the streets say.
Um, that Alicia Gray was going to the Sun.
Don't do this. Don't do this to me.
Now that would hurt. That would
That
hurt
was
a
the
lot,
street. I
That
actually.
didn't say that. I
that
just
would
saw it.
I will say, bias aside, that would be wonderful for Connecticut. Bias aside. That cannot happen. Please do not leave.
Uh, oh shit.
Well, on to these. Okay. Well, let's do this. What is what is going to be the Lynx's keys to success? What is going to be the Liberty's keys to success? And then what is your personal prediction for the series?
Um, the links. Are we doing like one key? We each doing a key, or we about like all the keys?
We can each do a key.
Um, my links key is um K Mac being hot for at least 2 games. I don't
Mm,
really know if that's a key, but that has to happen.
I like
My
that.
my Lynx key is going to be I mean, this kind of falls as on a team as a whole, but they can't let the Liberty do to Fee what they did to Asia.
No, that's gonna burn them. But yes. Wait, who is that a key for?
The
Liberty?
the the Lynx.
The links.
Oh, you saying don't let them double team her?
Like at least don't let her like remove her out the game in the same way. Like I know they play team basketball to a T, but also like Fee still has to be effective in some capacity.
Hold
And
on. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So my key for I mean just if we just doing one for now. Um a key for Minnesota is your shot creators are going to have it going. Like you're gonna need Courtney Williams to be able to get to that mid range, to be able to knock those shots down. Because she's one of the best in the league at doing that. Getting to that spot, even if it's a hand in her face, she's you could tell she's taken that same shot from the elbow so many times. You can like if she's getting to that consistently. You also um I like Jamae saying that uh Kayla McBride has to hit her shots. I feel like Bridget Carlton, it kind of goes the same for her because you know that Fee is gonna get hers. The same way when the Liberty played Vegas, Asia was able to get hers. But even when you make it uncomfortable for her, she can get it. So outside of that, you're gonna need in order to win a championship, it has to be somebody else that steps up in addition to that.
listen, to Jay's point, to the Lynx, if y'all shot if the whole team plus the coach shot 40% from three all year, and y'all don't do this shit now, I will be so fucking upset. y'all had the whole team, the coach, the general manager, the people working the concession stands, the valet people, the security people, all of them shot 40% from three and 50% from the field. If y'all decide now to start missing shots, y'all are very nasty. And I will make sure y'all never prosper again.
Also, while we got people watching, if you can hear the sound of my voice, um, please put who you have winning the finals and in how many games. Because we gonna I just want to see. I want to see what everybody got.
You sounded like Goku when he be asking people for the spirit bomb. if you can,
I don't even watch Dragon Ball.
if you can hear me, I need your energy.
I need your energy.
Um, and what's our key for the Liberty?
I will not be helping them. So
Well,
Well,
for me, okay, go ahead. Go
I'll do
ahead.
two, one for me and one for Jamae. John Quell, calm your ass down. If shit don't work out, it's okay. You got I'm sure there's more games to be played. You can't let some bad calls take you out of the game. You just can't.
okay, no, but we gotta acknowledge her getting pissed and knocking fucking Sandy Brondello over. I was literally screaming. Like that gif, the video is hilarious, but the gif is crazy. She is so mad. Like, and I don't even understand how they collided. I really wish we got another angle because it don't make sense in my brain how they ran into each other. And
I
then Becky
Oh.
comes over there and is like, "Are you okay?"
I
No, it
think
really does. It really does look like it looks like a cartoon. Like seeing JJ on the ground get up and like try to sprint back down the court and run straight into Sandy. It looked like something out of like Tom and Jerry or something.
I
Like
think
it's
That was terrible.
I think when
But I'm
she
glad
fell,
everybody's
she
okay.
made she made a wet spot on the court, and then she tried to get up on that same wet spot, and then she fell again, like
okay.
immediately after. But yes, it
Okay,
was
that makes
absolutely
sense.
hilarious. My other key is Sabrina. Are you a man, a woman, or a mouse? This. Are you a woman or a mouse? You done put all the other shit behind you almost. You in the finals again. Are you about to throw up in a trash can? Or are you about to hoop? That's because if she not hooping, it's over. Yeah, that's
So um the first key I think of for the Liberty is actually something that they shouldn't have an issue with is they need to own the glass in this series. Um, of all of the teams that played in the playoffs this season, the worst rebounding team is the Minnesota Lynx. Of all of the teams that all eight, the Lynx have the worst rebound rate. The Liberty have the best rebound rate. So they shouldn't have a problem, but they need to own the glass. And JJ, I'm expecting multiple double doubles from JJ because they're gonna be able to get her involved. Also, defensively, this is what I like. This is something I'm looking forward to because I want to see how did the Liberty defend that Courtney Williams and Nafisa Collier little pick and roll, pick and fade, whatever they want to run. I want to see how New York decides to defend that. Like if is Stewie guarding Fee when Fee sets a screen for Courtney, does Stewie switch? Does she guard Courtney for a possession? Does she drop into the paint and stay with Fee? Do you have Benaja guarding Courtney? I want to see what they do there.
I do think I do wonder about Benaja because I feel like she played in the Aces series, but I don't feel like she played a lot of minutes. Which I still feel I don't know. I still kind of feel for her because she like that injury. I'm sure it scared her, but I do wonder if they'll put her on Courtney or her on K Mac because it's like, and this is why Phoebe just kind of like that wrinkle because it's like she's long enough to where it's like, all right, she can give anybody trouble, but Benaja is. I don't want to call her annoying, but she's annoying. Like she's like in your
The
face,
good kind.
Yeah, she's a
like
good kind of annoying.
yeah, like she's on you. Like she's like, oh, where you going? Where you going? Kind of thing. And so like I do wonder how they'll what kind of how they'll play that. But yeah, I agree with those.
Yeah, Leonie Fevich, while you mentioned her, she might be she might be an X factor because the way that she's played in this playoff, she's she's become like one of my favorite players to watch because she can do so much. Like they ask her to do some of everything. She comes off screens, she shoots from the outside, she defends bigs, she defends guards, she can put the ball on the floor, put pressure on the rim. Um, she's a pretty solid playmaker too. Like she really does it all. So that could be the difference maker. Like that could be what really takes it over the top for the Liberty.
Predictions for this series. My head is saying Liberty in 5. But my heart is saying Lynx in 4.
That is so crazy because I was about to say Lynx in 4. I'm not even gonna lie, Lynx in 4 was in my head because I think the Lynx will win game 1. That's my hot take. I know they're coming off this like back-to-back thing. WNBA, y'all going to hell because why would y'all do that? Um, but I think the Lynx win game 1. That's my hot take. Oh, and to this person in the comments that said, um, Minnesota's whistle is something else. You are hilarious. You are so funny because New York's whistle is also something. Okay, so
Yeah,
honestly,
I'm
I that is interesting. That's a good point because New York and Minnesota both get away with so much physicality. And usually it leans Minnesota's favor, not against when they play each other, but just in other matchups, because Minnesota is typically the undersized team. They're kind of just like, oh, we can let them be a little physical. So I am curious to see how they get officiated because them moving screens on both sides is crazy. Okay. And when they be under the basket, I'm side eye. So we're gonna see. That's a funny point though. Good point. Good point.
I think moving screens might be the most undercalled thing in sports, like in basketball as a whole. Like I think this just got to the point where everybody moves and it just be like that.
no what he said. Benaja and that knee need to head on over to guard Bridget Carlton. That's funny because, and I think she would do a great job still, even with the injury. Because the thing about Bridget is she's not gonna be. She don't put the ball on the floor. She's she's
Catch and
a
shoot.
spot up. Yeah, she gonna spot up and she gonna pull it. Which so I think that might be what Sandy Brandello starts off with.
Do I
If
trust Sandy Brondello's coaching? I'm not gonna get into her. I'm not gonna get into her.
I don't know, she she been doing the things that the playoffs started. I will say. I also I also I also thought she did a lot. I thought she did a lot of good this year. I did. I didn't have her ahead of Cheryl Reeve for Coach of the Year, but she was on the short list. because she's done a lot. Because although the Liberty have a lot of talent, you got to make it work. And even incorporating Leonie Fibich, you had Courtney Vandersloot in and out of the lineup. They did a lot to end up with the best record. So I liked what I saw. But so
Uh,
I think they can do that.
so to the person in our comments point about the Liberty of bottom three in free throws or bottom four, he was correct on that. They were ninth. They shot 17 free throws a game. However, what's also funny about that is the Lynx were also the Lynx were bottom two in free throws. They only shot 15 and a half free throws a game. So, and then as far as personal fouls per game, the Liberty were number one as far as like least fouls committed per game, and the Lynx were third at
And
16.4.
that's where it is. That's where it is because
Yeah.
you the other night when they was playing, they put Bree Jones back in the game. They put Bree Jones back in the game. I think it was Dejanay Fee and Bree Jones. Bree Fee smacked the shit out of Dejanay head, and they was like foul on Bree Jones. How? Where it come from? And that's what I mean. That's where they be getting away with it from. Like the Liberty do that shit too. Like JJ is a foul merchant. Okay, she's a foul merchant, and that's it. She a foul merchant.
So I guess
As we
so
always,
I guess my thought now that you pointed those numbers out is, are the refs gonna be calling everything or are they not gonna be calling nothing?
they need to let them play. I'd rather them whoop each other ass than them not be able to breathe on each other. If they damn calling every time somebody touch each other, that's gonna be a really nasty finals. I'd rather niggas be bleeding. This need to like WWF.
I think it's gonna be like honestly they've been so inconsistent. Like some games they'll like the first quarter they'll just let them play, and then the second quarter they like actually I think we're gonna take that back. We need to get the numbers up. I don't know if they be having to meet a quota or something, but like I'm like, girl, you did not need to do that. I will say sometimes JJ is officiated terribly. But she do be fouling. She be fouling. She just don't
Yeah,
get called for actual fouls, but sometimes she do be. But other times she is like, all right, that one was ticky tacky. You could have let that one go.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think I think the officiating is just not good. Like period. Like it's just there's no consistency with the calls. Now, I don't want to, make the series about the refs or anything, but there's not much consistency when it comes to foul calls on either side. So,
I just say you ain't got to worry about making it about them because they're gonna insert themselves. Don't you worry about it. Don't you
oh
worry
yeah,
about it.
the refs want to be the main character. That's for sure.
see, listen, they on national TV. This is the most views the WNBA got in a season. If anybody the start this is your time. This is the refs feel like this is my time. But yeah, I I always say this: refing is really hard. On top of the fact that they do questionable things, but refing is hard. Them girls move fast, and I can imagine calling shit in at the time it happens is like excruciatingly hard. Like whatever. But statistically, both these teams, although they may not shoot a bunch of free throws, they also do not foul much either. Whatever agenda it actually is, whether they do foul a lot, whether they do get calls, whatever. Numbers wise, both of them don't foul much, and both of them don't shoot a lot of free throws. So whether it's JJ, whether it's the Lynx getting away with stuff, whether it's whatever, we'll have to see how this plays out. Um, both teams are very physical. Nafisa plays inside predominantly. Um, but outside of I can kind of see why neither one of them shoot a lot of free throws. Sabrina has gotten better at driving this year, but like she's still like outside in type of a player. Stewie, she can get down, but like she all over that court. Like she is absolutely a 3 level scorer. Jonquel want to be a big guard sometimes. Like the Liberty are very a lot of them could fit anywhere on the court and shoot a lot. Like they're not the Liberty are not trench babies, and the Lynx definitely are not. Like
at all,
it,
at all.
the Lynx are not trench babies in the slightest. Like B will get down. I could if I had to guess them uh them 15 free throws, 15 and a half free throws they shoot per game. Nafisa probably shoot 40% of them because that's the only person who really like trying to get down.
So in the regular season, Fee shot just under 5 free throws a game.
That feels so low for her though.
It does, it does. But yeah.
But yeah.
Also, we talked a lot about defense. So there were only 5 players. There were only 5 players in the league this season that averaged at least 1 steal and 1 block per game, and 3 of them are in these finals.
Oh, wait. Can I
Stewie,
guess? Feast? Oh yeah, Feast, Stewie, and
1 block and 1 steal.
is it Alana Smith?
Yep.
It's crazy because I almost said John Quell, but I was like,
I knew it wasn't her.
I was
Yeah,
like, that's
JJ
too
doesn't
easy.
get yeah,
She's not a
no,
loud
JJ
defender.
yeah. And JJ is a good defender, but she don't get the defensive stats.
Yeah.
So
I be feeling bad for the players that like play good defense and don't like accumulate a lot because they're never really gonna get the recognition per se. Like
Yeah.
you could get as many steals as you want to and still not be a good defender per se. And you could also like never steal the ball and be pretty good. Like
yeah,
Angel had like 1 block in the first half of the season, but she was a pretty good defender for
very
this
good
guy.
defender. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so it's just there's always gonna be people that don't get the recognition because they don't put up the stats. And defense is so hard to evaluate. Like it's extremely hard. It's way harder to evaluate than offense for me. Um, but yeah, last but not least, unless somebody else has anything, the coaching carousel, as Jay put it.
Y'all didn't. Oh wait, we did do predictions. Wait, Jay, did you predict?
Oh no,
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Liberty and 5. I'm
Liberty and
sorry.
5.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Lynx and four, Liberty and 5.
Yeah, I'm going Liberty in 5. I think the Liberty are just I think they're the best. I think they've been the best team all season. And I think the rebounding, I think winning the possession battle is gonna be enough for them to turn the tide.
I completely understand that.
Yeah, that's a logical answer. I just don't want to believe in them. I don't really want to believe in the Lynx either, but I had to give an answer. I'm
My
honestly very neutral right now.
I'm also. I mean, it can go either way for me. I would be but seeing Fee win a championship after we did not believe in the Lynx at all would be kind of funny. After
Which is
nobody
funny.
believed in the
Okay,
Honestly,
Lynx,
so
it would be
so
kind of funny.
so Fee, this is her first. So this will be her first championship. The Liberty as a franchise have never won a championship.
yeah.
And speaking of, have the Lynx put out a hype video with all the Maya Moore stuff because they need to get on that if they
Not
haven't.
yet.
I
Like
need
that should have been in the tuck already.
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
need the Lynx to do is to defend themselves when people be like the Minnesota. I'm like when people be like, I'm trying to win Minnesota their first championship. Nigga, I got 4 of them. Y'all need to win y'all first championship. Minnesota got 4. You, the Vikings, the Wolves,
The
whatever other team,
Twins.
the Twins, y'all need to win y'all first championship. Leave Minnesota out of it because we got them. We done our job,
That's
and
extremely funny.
don't let me win a 5th one.
No, on it. I mean, well,
Don't let me get my 5th.
Okay, unrelated thing we were going to talk about sports ratings. The Lynx and Sun last night cracked 984,000 views on ESPN2. Okay, the girls didn't even get primetime TV, and they outperform hockey.
Yeah,
Also, I didn't know
the
this many
finals
people
might
watch
the
baseball. Just saying.
the fun. Yeah, well, I love baseball, but the finals might average a mil. Like
They got to. They got
if
to.
Lynx Sun Game 5 was doing numbers like that, at least at least one finals game is gonna do more than a mil. At
Because
least one.
the Liberty Aces game, I think they were at like 982. I mean, 980 as well. I think they did like peak at a million, but yeah. So I expect the finals to crack a million.
Yeah, it's at
Listen,
least one finals game is gonna do a mil.
somebody said they not trying to watch that paper bag ass finals, which was unfair, but unfortunately it was funny. But I'm absolutely trying to watch. Is it the
I
agenda that I
am.
wanted? No, but the Super Team Liberty versus the Land of Misfit Toys Lynx is a story that I need.
And this is why it's so funny that person earlier tweeted like, it's so great that the Liberty and Lynx won because we don't have no agendas. I got plenty. Y'all better hope Liberty win because I got some things to say. Okay,
if
they
you
better
if
hope
you
they win. They
if
better
you
hope.
need an agenda, I can get you one. I will
I will
pass them.
give you material.
I will pass them out.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was Siobhan that said this is for the sickos, and yeah, because I'm a sicko. Like
Immediately.
I want, I want to see a bunch of switching, a bunch of screens, a bunch of pin downs. I want to see all that. So
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun matchup, despite my hating. All right, coaching carousel. Tanisha Wright no longer has a job. Um, which we kind of saw coming. We saw coming.
Yeah.
I
We
did.
saw it coming.
I, I, I hate that. I do,
Do you?
and I do. Okay, okay.
I
So
mean,
here's the thing. I do think her and the Dream probably needed to part ways. I don't dislike her as a coach.
valid.
This was kind of so the Dream were in a weird spot because when she first got there, they were a super young team rebuilding from the ground up. And then they traded up for the number one pick. You know, they drafted Ryan Howard. They were saying, okay, this is going to be, you know, the face of our franchise. And what Tanisha Wright was brought in to do was to establish a defensive identity for the team. And she did that. The the Dream ranked in the top half of the league in defense all 3 years that she was the coach. So that was there. The problem really comes on the offensive end, and it's kind of a personnel issue. And also, the league kind of the way that this team looked, the league kind of passed them by, and the league moves really quickly because last season the Dream were not only in the playoffs, they were the fifth seed. The fifth seed this season with the Seattle Storm that had Nneka Ogwumike, Skylar Diggins Smith, Jewel Lloyd, Gabby Williams, Jordan Horston, Ezzy Magbegor. That roster was the fifth seed, which is where the Dream were last year. The fourth seed last year, that was the Dallas Wings. Arike Agumbawale, Satu Sabali. This season, the fourth seed was the championship team from last year was the fourth seed this year. It was like we see what y'all are trying to do, and the whole league not only was like, we can do that, we can go beyond that. because you saw the Liberty become the team that the Liberty became the team that they were on paper last year. The Minnesota Lynx far exceeded everyone's expectations. Connecticut stayed where they were. I mean, Connecticut did Connecticut stuff. They it's one of the it's like what Don mentioned. When you're that consistently good, you're gonna be in that same mix every time. And they were. So it feels kind of like the Dream were just in a weird spot because they needed to add more and they didn't know where they were gonna get it from.
Yeah.
Like I understand the moves that they made. Um, I loved the Alicia Gray trade when that happened. Um, the Tina Charles signing, giving that young team a veteran big that could advise the younger players because the Dream have a lot of younger players. They brought in Jordan Canada to be the point guard, and injuries really derailed her season. Ryan Howard had a lot of injuries that she dealt with, and they were still able to squeak into the playoffs. But the problem is the offensive identity was never there. So I think what them firing Tanisha Wright signals for me, because she was a young coach coaching a young team, it almost makes me feel like this team needs to be at another level. And we don't have time for the coach. We don't have time for this coach to grow with this team.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I have gripes about Tanisha Wright. But I do feel like I don't want to say it was premature because I do think it was kind of the right move if they feel like I do feel like it was the right move, but I feel like also that they the expectations were a bit too high, in my opinion. Like even getting Jordan Canada and Tina Charles this year, I don't know what they really expected. Like they made the playoff. Like that is honestly like an expectation. I would be like that's cool. Like making the playoff makes sense. Um, but when you walk into the season and you're not gonna have your PG1 available until July, August, like you already a step back because this is essentially the same team you had last year with no point guard. Like you don't have Danielle Robinson to lean on, you don't have AD to lean on, like you don't have, and y'all have essentially been like Haley Jones, sit down. So it's like you don't even have the committee that you had in the previous year to propel you forward. And so it like just looking at this season, it feels unfair a little. It feels unfair for this to be like the okay, she's done. But I do get it though, because
Mm-hmm.
I have the same gripes with her that obviously I have the same gripes with everybody, is that motherfuckers do not be using a bench. And it really be pissing me off. But I think in the same way, she's similar to Christy Sides in the sense that it's like we found something that kind of works and we're gonna commit to the bit. And it's like your team is too young for you to commit to the bit. Like you don't you're not a championship team that's like we trying to make sure we have these eight that are gonna get us over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have that. Your team is not there. Y'all are not winning the championship. Like you don't even have the coaching staff to get you there. You know what I'm saying? You just don't have it. And so to commit to, well, this is what we're gonna do, and to just keep trying it and it's not working, is I don't know. It just is like what could she have really done? Like there's really no like I don't know. I don't really think there was honestly another option for what she could have done that wasn't repeating what they did last season. But again, people would have had gripes about that because nobody liked Kaylee Jones at PG1. Um, Even though I love Haley Jones. Y'all will not down talk her in front of me.
Yeah,
But
I do too.
I don't know. I just don't really see like how they could have expected her to do more with what she was given. Could she have, played a few more people? Yes. But was that necessarily going to lead them to more wins? Maybe not.
Right. And I think one thing that you mentioned that's really, really big for me is the fact that like looking at the Haley Jones on ball reps because she needs those. But a team where Haley Jones is still getting used to being a full-time point guard, getting those on ball reps, that being your go-to and you having aspirations of being a top seed going into the postseason, they do not correlate
Yeah.
because Haley's a young player. She's still learning how to play the position at this level. So there was a gap there in terms of what they were looking to do. So that was and it's and I hate it for it. I also don't think that it was necessarily the wrong decision. I think it's good. I think it's good for the team to go in another direction. I think it's good for her too. Like I think she could. I think her going back to being an assistant for a little while could be beneficial for her going forward because they say a lot of time you learn from what you did wrong the first time. So maybe this is a good thing for her. And I think I don't know what the Dream look for in terms of their next coach. I think they probably go for a more experienced voice if they want to make that leap. The problem with that for me is it could cap the ceiling of what your team can reach. Because I feel like your team has potential to hit higher highs if you bring in a coach that can grow with this roster. The problem is when it don't work, it might look ugly sometimes. So I don't know.
Kurt Miller, I hope you like Magic City, buddy.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Kurt Miller to Atlanta. I mean, I don't hate it, but y'all know
I
I
don't
love
hate
Kurt
it
Miller.
either. I don't hate it either. I do think they at least called him, I would say.
Um,
Check up on him, see what he's doing.
nobody else is. Nobody's changed. So they still
Nah,
got
that's sense.
Chicago, Golden State, Atlanta, and LA.
LA. Yeah. So
I feel like though they got
over
to get some new
over
blood.
over
I don't know who
I
they
was,
gonna
I
invite
was,
though.
I was gonna say over under because there are four openings technically. So over under 2.5 teams that have called Lindsey Harding already.
They should have been called that lady. If she's not the Valkyries coach, get her get JG Redick away from her. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I think that she's probably going to be a candidate that every team is calling, at least to talk to. Like even if she's not, the top of the list of candidates, they calling her.
yeah, I think they should, honestly. They need to get on the phone. I wonder though, like which college coaches might be also getting calls um to like come up to the next level or um college coaches that could be coming up to the next level or if they try to poach NBA coaches, like some
I've
assistant
also
somewhere.
I've
What?
also seen people say Tyler Marsh the Aces lead assistant.
Yeah.
I've
Him and
seen that name
Natalie are
too.
pretty big. Yeah, they're pretty good. So
What are the
I wouldn't be
chances?
Brienne January too. I would love for Brienne January
Mm,
to be a head coach. I would love that for
What are
her.
the chances of Nikki Blue being a coach somewhere?
I don't know. What did she do
I
this
don't
year? I
mind
forget
that.
what she did.
I don't mind that. Let me see.
Why is it Blue Buds? That is not the right.
What is Nikki Blue doing right now? Nothing.
She washing the pot.
I guess she's not doing. I mean, it don't say she's took another job.
No, she didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would. I maybe she didn't want to coach. Maybe she like took a season off after you know not getting that job after everyone expected that she would.
Yeah, they still want to help for that.
That would have pissed me off too, so I get it.
And that man was the highest paid coach, and he lost in the first round of the playoffs. Two thumbs down.
Who did they play? Minnesota.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, he's
but
going
yeah,
to hell. Um, I don't know.
Christy
I was
Tolliver.
thinking
Christy
Kara
has
Somebody,
Lawson
somebody
might be a
mentioned
somebody,
call.
somebody mentioned Christy Tolliver.
yeah, Christy Tolliver. Somebody said in the chat.
Christy Tolliver is a good answer. I could see her getting a head coaching job. Low key, they should have gave her the damn job instead of that man. But you see how the men move. Um,
I think Martin Luther King are gonna be in college for a little minute.
but
Yeah,
because okay, it's like I want her to be in college because Duke is about to be so good. I cannot wait to watch them. But also, my sister, I
I think she could absolutely be a fantastic coach. I just think she gonna ride this wave for a little bit before she decide to step up.
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked about that. I don't know what other college coaches that I could see, like really being able to
I'm trying to see who
step
else.
up.
I'm trying to see what else.
Tom,
What are the names they?
because none of the top coaches I feel like are like making moves. I'm trying to think of other people who are like in the like former WNBA players.
Let's see.
I I think Simone Augustus did start at LSU, so I don't know if like in a few years she might be like, let me come back to the league
Wasn't she
as a
an
coach.
assistant coach for the Sparks at some point, or maybe she was just like a player development coach?
I don't know. I know she was doing the player development stuff at AU recently.
Another name I'm looking at, Katie Smith. She is the assistant coach for the Lynx.
Yeah, Katie Smith could be good.
Let's see. There's another one.
I'm trying to think who else is on the bench. Um,
Pokey Chapman. She's the assistant coach for Seattle, and
she
I
had
think she's
her
also
running, but she had her running in Indiana. She didn't have a long run, but she had her little short run. So I wonder if this will be her the second time with her being able to like bounce back.
mm, um Rebecca Bronson. Just saw in the chat.
Oh yeah, I don't know if she would be a coach though, but she could be. I mean, I love her. I love her game actually. She's one of those players that I'm like, I kind of wish I was like tapped in back then because I kind of really enjoy how she plays. Um, Charisma Kelly cut on the Fever bench. She's a solid coach. I think she got a few more years before she like becomes a head coach, but I could see her down the line. Um,
Who else?
I don't know if anybody else I can really think of.
Austin Kelly. Did we mention him?
Who was that?
The Connecticut assistant coach.
Oh, Charisma husband, LOL. He's pretty
Yeah,
good, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so those are yeah.
Yeah.
I can see there's plenty of names that, GMs, ownership could reach out to, depending on the direction these teams want to go in. For Golden State,
I
I feel like Golden State would want a young coach. Because if you're an expansion team, you're not gonna be good right away anyway.
no, but
Or
I feel like they're gonna take the Phoenix approach. Like I feel like I would want them to take Lindsey Harden, but I feel like they might take the Phoenix approach and just pluck some random man and be like, yeah, NBA, he got NBA experience, put him out there.
If they
And
plucking
I'm
a
like,
random man, Jay
we
Trent,
don't need that random man
you
from
better,
Atlanta.
you
Sorry.
better. They can get the random man from Duluth.
if not from the
We don't want any random men, unfortunately.
no random
They
men.
Jay Tr- Jay
That
Jay
includes
Trent
me.
not random. Hey, listen,
We have to
Nakai
get Jay Trey on the bench first.
Nakias get his first head coach. Nakias and Jay Trent. It'd be a perfect mix of analytics and shoot that midi.
Oh
They'll
yeah,
be the
we real hoops.
they'll be the first expansion team since the Vegas Golden Knights to go to the finals. I honestly think that's the only expansion team in like sports history to like be good in their first year.
That's nuts. Like I remember when that happened, I was like, they what now? Like
I
this is
think
their
they I
first
think
season?
they I think they went to the finals like 2 times in a row or some shit.
Yeah. Well,
Anything else, guys?
Jay Trent, you gotta say the line.
oh yeah. I believe all hearts and minds are clear.
Yes, sir. Well, this has been another episode of Pull Up 3. Thank you all for joining live. Thank you all who are checking this post live. Make sure y'all subscribe, share, whatever. We are very close to 100 followers. I think, what we at now? Last time I checked, it was at
We're
87.
at 90, we're at 93 subs.
Oh my
I,
God, people are listening.
I see, I
Wow.
see,
We were
I
at
see,
82 yesterday.
I see
Period.
94 right now. So,
Okay, well I guess I need to refresh that.
we close.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Love you guys.
Yeah, so
All right.
this will I'm excited. This is good while growing. Um yeah, thank y'all for coming along for the ride. I am Paragon Don,
I'm Jamae.
And I'm Jay Trent.
and this is the Shade Room. No, this is Shade Room Sports.